You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're overloaded. And there is a massive difference. Let's talk about it. You are overwhelmed because you allow yourself to be overwhelmed. The circumstances of life are going to be there. They are going to stack on top of one another, and they are going to feel like the weight of the world is crushing you down. If you allow yourself to be overwhelmed like that, the feeling of being unmotivated, the overload that you just know you can't get through, is going to be so clear in your mind that it's not going to allow you to see what you can accomplish, what you can get done, and what you actually can achieve in a short amount of time. If you think of the entire scope of what it takes to climb up the entire mountain, to get to the very top, to plant the flag, then yeah, it is too much. It is too much to wrap it into the few moments that you might have to take a step forward. Until you understand that you will keep blaming yourself for not being able to do something because you're burned out and broken, all because you can't fathom how taking one little step is an achievement. It is a success. And this message is for you, for the people who are so tired they don't do anything, when in fact, all they need to do is take one step forward, starts to build that energy, starts to build that fire inside of them that gives them the knowing that they can take another step after that. It's not because they don't care about making progress, it's because they care too much about the entire thing, the entire picture, every single step wrapped all into one. When we start to misdiagnose ourselves and associate ourselves with this weakness because we're not enough, we have put a label on ourselves that is stealing our life. Now, you have been taught to associate the stillness with weakness, and reality is that it is not about movement or not movement. It is about progressing, healing, or recharging in those moments, because each one of those has a component that is allowing you to succeed and step forward in the next step. But I need you to understand this. There is a difference between rest and retreat. If you are retreating into the assumption or understanding that you cannot progress, you are imprisoning yourself. There is a difference between giving up and just slowing down and resetting. Allow yourself that grace. Most of us are not struggling with motivation. We're actually struggling with the capacity to figure out what that next step is, because we see everything all at once. We see all the things that need to get done within that day before we even open our eyes in the morning. And that is not fair for us. That is not fair for the people that we are interacting with. That is not fair for the people that we're trying to take care of. Our nervous system is literally fried before it even starts to engage in the activities that we're overwhelming ourselves with. You know, our thoughts are running wild, and they are burning us out and exhausting us before we even get started. And somewhere along the way, we started believing that we're just not capable of doing enough, and trying harder is the only fix, that we're not putting in that sweat equity to have success on the other side. But trying harder isn't the solution. When you're already running on fumes, you are thinking to yourself, I still have to dig deeper. We're telling ourselves all these motivational things that are not true in the moment we're in. You don't need more pressure, you need permission to refuel. If there is a race car going around a track, that driver does not ask permission to refuel. When he knows he's running on fumes, he understands that if those fumes are gone, there is no fuel to keep moving forward and the race is lost. Permission to pause is what you need to give yourself, to prioritize certain things over everything. Permission to come back to yourself. When you realize that you are worth this, you are beyond what you are allowing yourself to be. And what you're carrying, you're tired not because you're weak, but because you're holding on to so much all at once. The fatigue is setting in and we're not able to hold it up all at once. You're tired because you've been carrying so much for so long. Even what seems to be a minor amount of weight starts to feel incredibly heavy when we hold it up for so long, and doing it mostly in silence is certainly not helping. You need to communicate with the people around you, with the people that can understand and support you. And when you say, I'm all alone, then maybe that's the most important time to start opening your eyes and know that you are not alone. Those expectations that you're putting on yourself, that weight that you feel that you may be the only one to understand, that's not true. There are other people that can support you and give you that grace, love, and recharge to know that you are doing an amazing job with your life. And even if certain things are out of your stretch for each day, the fact that you are taking one step at a time and keep moving forward means that you are doing an incredible job. You are defeating mental load that oftentimes pushes us to the ground. Maybe it's that constant battle to be everything, to do everything for everyone, and to never disappoint. Maybe that's the real weight we need to put down. Not the list of accomplishments we're trying to get through, not the to-dos that burn us out. Let me tell you something, and I really want you to hear this. You can be exhausted and still worthy. Just because you're exhausted does not mean that you're doing something wrong. You can be overwhelmed and still full of potential. They are not aligned. You can actually be both. Your energy doesn't determine your value. Your output doesn't determine your identity. And being human doesn't disqualify you from being powerful. There is a reset that needs to happen when too many things are running, whether it be a computer or a human. When there's too many things going on all at once, sometimes we need to shut everything down and reset. So what we do going forward is prioritized in the order that it needs to be prioritized. You're being overloaded, you're being overwhelmed because there's too much all at once. And you don't need to quit, but you also don't need to bulldoze yourself forward blindly, hoping that you can get through it. You need to reset yourself and realize that your fire within is valuable. We need to take care of that fire so that we have that energy and that passion and that excitement to move forward in our life. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And when you slow down to hear what your body is saying and probably trying to scream to you at the point of giving up, you need to slow down, take a breath, and every step you're taking is a step of progress. Stop demanding that you get all the way to the top of the mountain in one leap. Start listening to yourself and realizing that as long as you're moving forward, as long as you're progressing, you're still doing it. You're still living life. And the most productive thing that you can do today might not be checking off another box on the to-do list. It might just be breathing and stretching and writing down in a journal all the things that are in your head. Maybe even saying them out loud. Maybe even just voicing to yourself, I'm not stuck. I'm just overloaded and I'm allowed to adjust. I'm not stuck. I'm overloaded in this moment. That doesn't mean that I'm overloaded with life. And I'm allowing myself to adjust. From that space of grace, you can begin again. Because your power doesn't come from constant output. It comes from the alignment of what you're doing, carrying you with purpose and fulfillment. It's not all about achievement. It's about fulfillment in living the day to its most. So today's invitation to you, stop trying to prove something. Stop shaming yourself for being tired and choose the path of restoration. We want to reset ourselves. We want to restore ourselves. We want to recharge ourselves without guilt. In fact, you don't need to feel guilty for wanting rest, for needing rest. Rest is a part of healing. And resting allows us to take maybe that 1 or 2 steps back so that we can launch ourselves forward and rise. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning light. And it's your soul saying, come back to me. I need your help. So take your time, clear that clutter in your mind and either write it down on paper, say it out loud, get it out of yourself. Give yourself even just 5 minutes to pause and recenter. Let this video be the moment where you exhale for the first time in days. You've carried so much, and now you get to say, it's time for me. It's time to lay some of it down and allow yourself to recharge, reset, and move forward. Now, if this spoke to you, if you know that you're not unmotivated, but simply just carrying too much, I want you to say something. I want you to realize that you have the power to reset yourself and to reclaim this identity in as little as 7 days. In fact, I put together a 7-day identity reset. 7 days to reconnect with yourself. Clear the noise and step forward, not from burnout, but to the truth. We want to reset ourselves in the identity that we need to carry ourselves into the future. You don't have to keep running on empty. You don't have to earn your worth. You just have to say yes to the realignment of yourself. Grab that reset below. It's waiting for you. If this version of you has been buried under all of this pressure, just remember, you're not broken. You're not overloaded. It's not too much. And right now is your time to begin again. I'll see you next time. Today is going to be a great day. Just let it be a great day.